There you go.
There we go. Welcome, everybody, to our Road to Senior Officer. I just want to say I am honored to be able to be on this call tonight with my friend Kimberly. We've been together for a long time now. We are cross line. If you know what that means that we get nothing off of each other except our hearts are connected and we love each other. This is our second trip down the road to senior officer and down this road. And so we want to thank all of you for taking time out to travel with us. And so I am super excited at this time for number one, the momentum of what is happening. And you all see it if you're on the IPA. And the other thing is, I want you to know that your timing is perfect because we are in the perfect storm to launch PartnerCo to $1 billion company. And we need you. We are an army and we have to work together. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts for jumping on and going down this journey with us. There's some things that we must learn first. And so I'm going to challenge you. Kimberly's going to challenge you. So I want you to get your notepad out tonight. And before you go night night, I would like for you to think about three things. What do you want? And then I would like to know, why do you want that? Why do you want to be on this road to senior officer? And I want you to really think about what your life would look like, you and your family, when you reach that senior officer. And our goal is to always be paid as a senior officer. So that's why we're doing this tonight. So tonight we're going to deep dive into what that looks like. And so we're going to start each Tuesday call from now until PXP on the hour so that we are respectful of your time. And several of you on this call will have your team meeting after we get through to just kind of go over what your plan is as a team. And so plan to be on the Tuesday calls on a little bit before so that we can start the calls on time. Kimberly,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
had something to say?
I just want to say welcome to everybody. I'm Kimberly Brecka. I come to you from very hot Big Rapids, Michigan right now. And Brenda and I, we're ready to take off down that road.
Awesome. Okay, well, here we go. So before we go into our training tonight, I have a short little story that I need to share with you because I need for you to know why the fundamentals. Why are those important? And if you're a coach on this call, then I'm going to speak to your heart. The year was 1960, and it was now the fourth quarter in the NFL championship. The Green Bay Packers led the Philadelphia Eagles 13-10. They could taste the sweet championship victory, but time expired as Philadelphia sent the Packers home defeated. After the game, Lombardi addressed his despondent team, saying, "This will never happen again. You will never lose another championship." Over the next few years, his word would prove prophetic. The next year, 1961, the Packers gathered for the season's training camp commanded by Coach Lombardi. Although they had lost the championship game, the team had established themselves as the game's most elite players. With four future Hall of Famers, Lombardi was not impressed and he assumed nothing. He began the next season with a clean slate and the most elementary lesson. "Gentlemen," he began, "this is a football." He began to unpack the game with painful scrutiny. They would learn that the game of football is more than a mixture of chance, skill, and individuals running around a field doing what they feel is right in the moment. Rather, it is an assembly of trained athletes disciplined to execute routine actions with persistence and excellence, both individually and collectively. Victory in the game is decided by the team who can repeatedly perform the basics superior to the opposing team. For the duration of Lombardi's coaching career, He demanded absolute dedication to the fundamentals, emphasizing a return to the basics as he rehearsed how to tackle, run, throw, and block. He obsessed over those things that others took for granted. And as a result, his team mastered the game. Not only did the Packers win the 1961 championship by defeating the New York Giants 37-0, but they won the next 5 out of 7 championship games, including 3 in a row. Lombardi would never lose another championship game, and he would never coach a team with a losing record. Lombardi is considered by many to be the greatest football coach in history. It has been said that more than any other sports figure, Vince Lombardi transformed football into a metaphor of American experience. The method that resulted in triumph in the game is the same thing required to triumph in anything. You see, fundamentals never change. So what does that have to do with us here at Partner Co? Here at Partner Co, we will stick to the system of growth, the fundamentals. So that's what we're going to deep dive into. And y'all get ready. It is going to be so fun, but I need for your mindset to be ready, resolute, lined up, and ready to go. Miss Kimberly, let's go to work, girl.
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to share my screen. And while I'm doing that, can y'all give Brenda some love in the comments? She tells a good story, doesn't she? Okay. We're going to share the screen, which means I probably won't be able to see you. Brenda, can you see me okay? Can you see this okay?
Mm-hmm.
Let's share it. Come on, work with me here. Oh, technology. Okay, so we're just going to do it like this because I can't see y'all. So we're just going to do it like this. Here's the thing. Here's some words that Brenda just said in that story that we need to keep in our heads. One is return to the basics. They don't change. We just have to repeat them. She said discipline. The team was disciplined. We have to have discipline. She said they were persistent. How many of you have heard on the IPA, persistent and consistent, right? And repeatedly performing the basics. So here's what we're going to do first. We're going to talk about working like a CEO. And I don't mean I mean a CEO of a business. Because here's the thing, if you're on this call, you're on the road to senior officer, this is a business, and you need to treat it like that. And what does that mean? That means the first thing that I suggest is having a conversation with your family. If you have family at home, and whether you have kids, whether you have a husband, whether you have dogs, whatever you have at home, you have to have a conversation. They have to understand that what you're doing is not a hobby. You're trying to make it a business. And it might mean a little bit of sacrifice. It might mean your kids have chicken nuggets instead of a 4-course meal. It's okay. They probably like the chicken nuggets better. It might even mean once a week they have cereal because you're on a Zoom call. It's okay. They'll be fine. So make sure you're having that conversation about when you're working, what you're working, how many hours you're working, and if you need some help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. If your significant other can walk around the house, they can run a vacuum. Don't be afraid to ask for help. I come to you with a background not only in teaching, but also in HR and some executive assistant work. So I've worked in those kind of offices. So that's where I'm pulling from right now to look at it like a business. Another thing that you need to do, you need to establish what are your work hours? When are you going to work this business? Is it 15 minutes after work and 15 minutes before work? If that's what it is, that's fine. But you need to establish that. You need to get your planner out or get your phone out where you put your time blocks, and you need to say work time, and you need to block that time off. Do things happen that interrupt? Of course, that's life. But you need to have established work hours. That is my suggestion if you're going to take this seriously. And what do you do during those work hours? Well, you have to decide that. And we have some sheets that we're going to show you here in a minute that can help with that. But you have to decide, what are you going to do? If you don't have a plan, you're going to be overwhelmed. So what are you going to do? Are you going to do reach outs? Are you going to follow up with your team? When are you going to do reach outs? When are you going to follow up with the team? Write this down, write it in your calendar. Obviously, I'm a very linear thinker, but if you don't have it written down, you could be off scrolling on Facebook for 6 hours. What you need to do is make sure that your work time is income producing time as well. Yes, you have to schedule your posts. Yes, you have to do 9 and 3. Yes, you have to do a little bit of scrolling, but maybe you're answering questions. That one section is answering questions in Messenger. Maybe that's what that is. Okay, you have your work hours. Make sure you're time blocking while you're working. And I'm pointing all my fingers at me right now. While you're working, don't sit here for 5 minutes and go, oh, I got to go change out that laundry, go change out the laundry. And I don't know about y'all, but this is how I operate. I go to change out the laundry, and then I notice that the light bulb's out. So I go to get the light bulb, and then I notice the cat litter needs to be done. Then I do the cat litter, and then the cat needs to be time out. This is your work hour. If you were in your office, at the school, at the corporate office, you would not be doing that. So make sure you're time blocking and set timers. That's a mindset trick. If you set a timer in your phone and concentrate on one task at a time, all your focus will be on that one task, because let's be real, this whole multitasking thing just means nothing gets done well. Pick one thing at a time, focus on that task, move on to the next one, and set a new timer. So that is what we were talking about when we were talking about running your business. I should have changed that a long time ago. Sorry, guys. Running your business like a CEO. Use your timers. And also remember, you guys, we are in an era, and we're not going to go deep dive into social media or anything, but in this world, not just on social media, we're in a huge trust deficit right now. People look at things that pop up on social media or on the internet and immediately think, I wonder if that's real. So when I say done over perfect, it's okay if there's, I got pointed out for a typo on a reel the other day. Oh, well, I just said, and somebody actually pointed it out, and I just said, oh, that's funny. No, it took about 2 weeks for someone to notice that I got a letter in the wrong place. So it's okay. Done over perfect. Not always, not if you're a brain surgeon, not if you're a rocket scientist, but here, done over perfect. And of course, the family conversations. Here's the thing. If it's not scheduled, if it's not in your planner, I'm old, I use a paper planner, but I also sync it with my phone. If it's not scheduled, it's probably not going to get done. So that is how we're looking at running your business like a CEO. And Brenda is going to talk to us a little bit about the system of growth. Not too much, you guys kind of know what it is, but we're gonna really narrow in on it.
I absolutely love our system of growth because it's our plan. Just like Vince Lombardi talked about running a plan, running a play, that's our play, and we don't deviate from that. And so we can look at, what do we do? We don't grow by working harder. We grow by building something duplicatable. And you hear me on the IPA call all the time say, this is a monkey see, monkey do business. We have got to be able People have got to be able to duplicate what we do. If it's not duplicatable, we must throw it out. And so that is what I love about this system of growth, is the simplicity. If we do what we are supposed to do, it works. Too many people are succeeding. And so I like to say what Jim Rohn told us: you can't do it wrong enough, long enough, and not succeed. And so if you will stick to the system of growth, it will take you all the way down the road to senior officer. Okay, so let's look at this. Everything we should do would be easy enough that anybody can copy it. And if they can't, then we have to sharpen our skills. We have to get better. So we have to commit to growing ourselves and our skills. And so just like the slide says, skill-based, follower-based success dies with you. We don't want to just be the leader. We want to get other people to do what we're doing. So look at this slide. Kimberly did such a good job on putting this together for us. The daily 5x5 duplicates.
You want me to bring that up, Brenda, real quick?
Yeah, pull that up. Okay, look at this right here, and you can all. Are you going to put these in the chat too, Kimberly? We're going to
Yes.
make these. We're going to have these available for you. So
Yes.
this is our scorecard. And so it's very easy for us to keep track. And so we have that in front of us. And like Kimberly said, okay, when you sit down at your desk, you've carved out time, you're ready to get started, we're going to turn the timer on and put our blinders on, close the door. We're going to go to work just like you were at a job somewhere. You determine whether it's going to be 10, 15, or 30 minutes. Maybe you're going to work an hour, but whatever it is, do it wholeheartedly and put your whole self in it and just do this. Look at that. We've got nice little 10 little lines for your new reach outs. We've got 10 lines for your follow-ups. Y'all know I'm passionate about follow-ups, so that's why that follow-up record is sitting over there. You've got to do that. If you don't follow up, you're going to lose people. They're going to quit. They're just going to go sit down somewhere and you're never going to hear from them again. Friend requests on Facebook. We all know that we should be inviting people, and in Facebook, we've all talked about that. Like Kimberly said, we're not going to the social media thing tonight. There's other people training on that. Check in with your droppers, your customers. Y'all, that's golden. Do you know how many people need us to care what is happening to them? And that's where that part comes. And then on social media, don't forget, every morning I get a message that said, who's having a birthday today? And if they're in my phone, I'll send them a personal text. But Facebook, we can go on Facebook and it moves the algorithm. So use those things. They're free. They're very easy to do. Wish somebody a happy birthday. I know how I feel when John Oakey takes time to wish me a happy birthday. And when Kimberly sends me hearts and hearts and hearts. And so don't forget to do your 9 and 3 posts. Okay, I got to say this. So many times on the IPA, I hear people say, I did the SOG and I did my post. Well, guess what? A 9 o'clock and 3 p.m. post is only 1/7 of the system of growth. Okay, y'all got that, right? There are lots of parts to the system of growth. 9 and 3 posts are only part of it. So make sure that you do that. Go back one more slide, Kimberly. Okay, because I wanted to finish. New names. We should be going on, and as we're answering comments to see who's commenting, I'm finding out that there's people that are commenting or hearting or liking my posts, and I don't even know who they are. So guess what? I did that today. I added somebody that I hearted something they did, and they weren't even a friend, but somehow they ended up friend requesting me. Don't ask me. I'm not the Facebook queen either. That's Kimberly. And so 3-way calls, y'all. Let me just camp on this one for just a second. 3-way calls is a non-negotiable. And here's why. We are in business for ourselves, but not by ourselves. And 3-way phone calls are a part of this system. And if you're not doing them, you are missing out, because the 3-way phone call shows the new person that they've got help, and you don't have to be a pro and you don't have to learn everything at first to do this business, because we have help. For me personally, I like to connect like with like. But even, here's my take on 3-way phone calls. I think for me, there are 3 versions of why you do a 3-way. Number one, and I'm going to go here for a second. Number one is sometimes I'm on the phone with somebody and I just need Kimberly to share her story. Kimberly, have you got 2 minutes to share what happened when you got started on the drops? Kimberly shares our story. Boom. She's off the phone and I'm back to the person. That's one form. The second form would be, hey, you want to exemplify that you've got help. And so you maybe you want to introduce your leader. And so you connect that person, you introduce your leader, and then you mute your phone and let your leader do the talking. And when they're finished, after they've told their story, asked, connected, and then edified you. See, you can't edify yourself. Your leader should do that, or whoever's doing the 3-way with you. And then they turn them back to you, and then you close the deal. The third version of a three-way for me is I need a business presentation and it needs to be on a Zoom. And I need Brent Palmer. And so I schedule with Brent Palmer 2 times. Give me 2 times that you're available, and I get with my new person, and I get 2 times that they're available, and I make the connection and hop on a Zoom. And that's a presentation. So for me, those are 3 ways. So there's different ones. Now there's one more that this is my belief on the power of the 3-way. The whole point for me of a 3-way is to get the person either on product or enrolled as a brand partner and on product. Now, if I can do that on my own, I don't need my leader. However, I'm smart enough to know that I need to circle back around and I need to do an introduction and a connection. And so that would be another reason. Connect your new people with your team. They have to know that we work as a team. And so those are ways that we utilize that 3-way, a Zoom presentation, that we exemplify this business of the success system. Okay, Kimberly, next.
Let me go back to that one.
Okay.
Do you want to go over this or do you want me to? Go ahead, Brenda. You look like you're ready to go.
I'm pretty fired up right now, girl.
I know.
Okay, so just understand that when the system of growth is downloading boards, it is doing a wellness social. I mean, let's get somebody to an event. Then we do the most exciting part, and that is the social media launch. Now that can take a little bit of time, not 4 hours. We do not take 4 hours to launch somebody. It is very simple to do. So the steps are right there. We even have videos in our boards that teaches us how to step by step launch somebody. So they do their first social media post. We're right there with them, holding their hand. And then we teach them how to schedule posts, or if they choose to set an alarm and do 9 a.m. and 3 p.m., that's totally up to them. I personally prefer scheduling posts and then throwing in some lifestyle posts in between. A names list. It's so funny. Today, I just wrote down all the names that my husband is wanting to share the Vital One with. We have to have a names list, and every day we should have new names on that list. I'm just saying, we should have new names. If you're out and about, if you're doing this, you need to be writing names down on your list. And then we have to go to action. We have to call those people. So step 5, your initial 7 days of posting. We have to commit to getting those 9 and 3 posts out. And then we also have to engage and follow up. And we have to monitor that. We have to pay attention. We have to watch. And then step 6, we're selling boxes of drops. And y'all, this is the most profitable product we've got is drops. Now, if you can put it in a bundle, that's even sweeter. I know John and Christy have been extremely successful with their bundle. And so have other teams. So do what's right for you. But our goal is to sell a box of drops. That's our gateway product. That's what we see significant results. And that will open the door for so many of our people. And then step 7 is sending your first 2 messages. We've got to do that. And then 8, get a win. My belief in this is I come with my box of drops. You'll quit on me before I quit on you. And then I want to get them results, which is why I do my follow-up, because I'm with them and I want to hear their wins. I want to hear the first 2 pounds and the first 5 pounds, and I want to celebrate those wins with them. And then guess what happens? Their belief meter goes 100% in the product. Now they believe in what they've got their hands on. Now I can walk them through the rest of the system. You can choose to enroll them. I have learned that I start with a 30-pack. That is the deepest discount with a box of drops. And then I come on down to the 10-pack, the 4-pack. And if I have to start them on a 1-pack, then hey, we start them where they are. I say, get in where you fit in. And I ask the question, what works best for you? Because it's all about you. And so we rinse and repeat. Kimberly?
Over. U plus 2. That's right. What does that mean, Brenda? What does U plus 2 mean?
U plus 2? That means I go help them find somebody, and now we got 2.
Because you're going to do it again.
I'm going to do
You
it
have
again.
made everything simple, everything repeatable, everything basic, right?
We show the simplicity of the system. And I mean, when Tammy sat down with me and she said, it's really as simple as copy, paste, and send. And that's what got me started. And, I did not want to like this whole thing to control my life. And so that's why the system is so important to me, because I've been in other comp plans and I understood what it took. This one is very simple, and we have to model that.
I agree 100%. Can I make a couple points on these steps?
Please.
Um, so step 2 talks about a wellness social. You guys, that could be in person. It could be a Zoom. There's Zooms, I would say every night, or at least not every night, pretty close to every night. There's Zooms. Step 4, names list. Think about the people when you post something or in your stories who like it, who comment on it, who view it. Those can all go on your names list. And you can just simply say, thank you so much for your support. Do you know what I do? Can I share anything about health? Do you have any health issues I can help you? I can help you with. Be careful with that one. That was not worded very well. But so don't forget, yes, when you're out and about, absolutely. Yes, when you're thinking of people, but don't forget that's a good source as well.
My favorite question there, Kimberly, when I'm out
Yes.
and about and I run into somebody and there's a connection, or
Yeah,
we get close enough to have a conversation, is
because you're listening,
hey,
right? Yes.
it's hey, if you could change anything about your health or finances, what would that be?
There you go.
And then just
Like it.
listen.
Yeah, and just listen. I love that. Thank you for that, Brenda. Um, Back to what Brenda said about system of growth. It's throwing up a post at 9 and 3. No, it's not. Don't forget to engage. You don't have to spend 4 hours scrolling and engaging. Spend 5 minutes. Do those say happy birthday to everybody on your friends list. Add people to your friends list every day. You're increasing your scope of who sees your things. And don't forget to boost. There are tons of boosting groups out there. Find one that works for you, and don't forget to boost. Those are very, very important in the system of growth. Sell your box of drops. Back to the wellness social presentation. Full time, what does Todd and Brent tell us? 5 a day. Part time, 1 a day. But full time, 5 a day. Do you have 5 people going to a drop talk, looking at a Zoom? I mean, maybe you just do it on Fridays and you have 20 people show up or 25 people show up. Good for you. But keep those numbers in mind. It's kind of the difference between full-time income and part-time income. And then the do it again. So the goal, and we're going to talk about this in a couple sessions from now. There's Brent Palmer's done one called 90 Days to CEO, some training, and James Zhang has done one called 6 Figures in 6 months, or 6 months to 6 figures, something like that. There are very specific steps using our system of growth that get there. And it goes right back to what Brenda and I just said about U+2, because we are wanting to repeat everything that we do. We want to teach people, training them extremely well. And if you're new and you don't know how to train them, you get your trainer to help you train them. Or you get your sideline sister to help you train them. You find somebody who can help you train them, because that is what is going to really escalate your business, is making sure that every new person you bring on is overly trained. What does Tim Sales do? When I talked about what I have done for a living in my past, I did not say that I'm a veteran of the United States Air Force, which I am. And so when Tim Sales, the Navy SEAL, says you train until you cannot get it wrong, that's what this type of training, obviously a little different level, but that's what we're talking about. Get to that point with your training. And if you can't, sit with a trainer. Go out to Brent's YouTube. Andrea Rosser does a phenomenal job of training on all of it, beginning and advanced. Watch them over. I watched them over and over. I still watch them over and over so that I don't forget to train that person on something. So the point is to bring on that person, train them so well, bring on 2, U+2, bring on 2, train them so well, they're following the system of growth. And next month, they're bringing on 2, along with the new 2 that you're bringing on. So that's kind of, we're gonna really show the numbers and stuff. I'm kind of a numbers girl, but we're gonna show the numbers and stuff in a couple weeks. So this is kind of a 6 week. We might only have 5, but 6 week. Brenda, you want to go over this one? You want me to? What do you want?
You go ahead.
Okay, so we're going to do it over kind of 6 weeks. Tonight we're talking about the foundation. Like you can't just walk in to a brick and mortar, let alone something like this, and just say, "All right, I'm going to make $1,000 today," and not have a plan. So tonight we're talking about the basics, which includes a system of growth, which includes setting yourself up to work it like a business. Next week, or this isn't exactly week to week, but this is kind of how it's going to flow. We're going to talk about when that next person does join your business. How are you training them? What are you training them on? What are you doing? What are you looking at in your back office to make sure that your business is running like a business? And what reports are there? How can you, because if you're not analyzing, you don't have to be super crazy analytical spreadsheet. You don't have to be that person, but you have to know what your business is doing and who's doing it in your business so that you can give them the support that, obviously I'm a teacher, I always have a pen in my hand, but so that you can give them the support that they need and that you can see maybe where there are some deficits so that you can increase upon those. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. And then duplication, just a little bit more of that same thing. Your new brand partner's doing that 5x5. It can be 10x10, it can be whatever. And then really finding out where your gaps are and how to fill them, how to make sure. And it might be like Brenda and I are 2 different people. I call Brenda for things that I am not strong in. She calls me for things that she is not strong in. But together, we're not on, she said at the beginning, we're not on the same team. We do not fiscally benefit from each other, but brain-wise, we do. And so find your person.
Kimberly,
Yes.
I want everybody to know that this is just the beginning and it's kind of a quick overview. That's
Yes.
as much as we can fit into an hour. Like we said, we want to be respectful of your time, but we're going to be doing some deep diving into some of these. We're going to go in your back office. We're going to have you look at the gauges. We're going to help you determine what gauge feeds what, and so that you know how to run your business. And you are going to be so proficient at that by the time we get done. You're going to be glad that you were on this road with us.
Yes, you will be. A couple of little points down here. Who knows? Put it in the comments. Who knows what it takes to make senior officer? I mean, that's probably a pretty good start, is to know what it takes to make senior officer.
Way to go, Susan Martinez.
There we go. All right. And then this says texture upline. You might not. So I just want you to think about, who do you work? Most of us have an upline that we work really well with. Some of us don't even have an upline. Some of us had an upline and they're not working anymore. And then they had an upline, they're not working. So you have to find that person in your line who can understand your numbers and help you. So kind of not necessarily a mentor, but here's the thing. If you find someone above you, they're going to benefit from you being successful. So it's really helpful, not only to them, but to you, to ask them questions. Here's where my volume is. Where do I need to be? Here's line 1. Here's line 2. What do I need to get to? How many do I need? Which kind of leads us into this last portion we're going to talk about. And that is setting your goal. Do you want me to do this part, or do you want to do it, Brenda?
Go ahead. No, you're on a roll, girl. I'm loving this.
So set your goal. If you want to be senior officer, there's your goal written down right there. 2 lines, fully optimized, 13,334. I don't know where the 7 came from. That darn Claude. And then how much, so total, that's per line. Total, there's your PB. If you only did 30 packs, how many 1,500 30 packs would you need? There you go, 18 per week. Does that mean that I need to go out, Brenda, does that mean I need to go out every single week and sign on 9 people in each line with a 30 pack?
No.
It doesn't, does it?
No.
Because
Absolutely.
how does our volume work?
All volume rolls up.
All volume rolls up.
All volume rolls up.
That's right. So you add that person under you and they have a 30 pack, and then they bring on two people and they have 30 packs, and then they bring on two people and that's four more with 30. See what we're saying? That's exponential work. That's my math teacher brain mathin'. That's what that is. And it doesn't always have to be a 30 pack. It can be your subscriptions. How many subscriptions do you have in your tree? That's something to look at. We have, let's say you have 100 people in your tree who are like, I tried the drops, they don't work. I got a 4-pack, I'm done. I don't want anything. Have a conversation with them. We have tons of new products. We have Core Cleanse. We have Sugar Stop. We have Vital One. We have so many products. And that goes right back to, look, I got all excited. I'm going to bring this up. Brenda's follow-up record. Brenda, I want you to talk about the follow-up record, because the follow-up record is what's going to help us get subscriptions, which is going to help our volume.
Thanks, Kim. I don't always bring a person in with a 30 pack. And if y'all do, I applaud you. But what I do, I get people in. I was a discount girl, so I talk about the discount, but I get people in where they fit in. I help them come in what's comfortable for them. My follow-up is where I build the relationship and I get to talk about a few of the other products. I could get them on a subscription then. I could tell them, hey, you know what? If you really want some more products, we could do this. And then I tell them what it could be for them when I explain the benefit of getting to Ultimate. And so it's through that follow-up sheet that I first of all build a relationship that builds trust. But it also gives me the ability to educate them on what I've learned about the products. And you don't have to be a product geek to do that. All you have to do is open up your back office and read, or have handy what a one-line phrase is about what some of the most popular products are. But it's listening to what their need might be. So on this sheet, and some of y'all, I'm sorry if I have to repeat myself, but I have this sheet in a notebook with 1 through 31 tabs, one for every day of the week. And when I start a person on product, I'm going to do this. I call it my assessment record in the beginning, and then it becomes my follow-up. So I do an assessment and I find out all the information, why they want to start on products, what their goal is, why they want to get to that goal. And then we talk about SMART goals, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. So how much time do you want? I asked for 90 days. Will you give me 90 days? So I start there and I'll start building things. And I'm quick to say, you're gonna quit on me before I quit on you. We're gonna do this. If you've spent the money, we're gonna get results. All I need for you to do is understand there's two things that are hormone disruptors. You need to know those things. And then we're going to talk about the food list. And then we're going to talk about how often I'm going to call and follow up. Did you know that people want accountability? Your kids need boundaries and want accountability. And that's a lot of what happens here. People want to know that somebody else cares and they're watching. And so what that does, again, it builds more trust. It builds a relationship. And so as I go through there, it allows me to find out more about that person. Do you take medication? Well, I'm not a doctor, so don't give me a name of a prescription, but you might tell me what it does. That way, I'm in my mind, I'm reeling, thinking, okay, I have a product fit for that. I'm going to offer that to help with that. And so that's what helps me do a product fit. Yeah, they might have started on the drops, but maybe I'm going to accessorize those drops with a few little products. And so as I'm asking the questions, it allows me to offer a couple more products. Most of the time, I don't start a person out more than 2 or 3. Because I want to keep it simple and I don't want to inundate people with products. People need simplicity. They need something that's realistic and they can do. And the best product out there is the one you're going to take. And so that's where I start. Then it has a list down there of what products they may start with. And I note that with a date. And then I go through to get me an idea about their lifestyle. Y'all, this has been so crucial for my business. And so it's through that that it allows me to help people get better results, faster results on the product. And I think it's essential. You have to have it. It's a very simple form. It's over 20 years old that I've used this, but it works. And so as I'm doing this, I'm building my business, and it allows me to dig deeper because my mindset is if I can get you results, you'll tell the world about my stuff. And so that's how I use my follow-up record. Now, as I do the follow-up, I've established what's the best time for them. And we live in a military town here in Colorado Springs, and so there's been a few military people that came onto my team, and when I asked them what was the best time to be reached and how often did they want follow-up, one girl just blurted out Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 a.m. sharp. And I just saluted her and said, yes, ma'am. And so that's what I did for 90 days, y'all. And it works. And it built a relationship. And I got her results. We had to tweak some things. And, I've learned a lot about how to help a person get results. And I'll say, if you do your part, these products will work. So that's why follow-up is my jam.
Well, and I think, building that relationship is just absolutely crucial. And Brenda taught me that. She taught me. I was one of those people, and I'm going to tell you, the people that come out of the gate, and I like you, you can or you don't have to if you feel comfortable with it. The people that come out of the gate selling 100, 200 boxes, 300 boxes of drops their first month, it looks and sounds good. But do you know how difficult it is to do a follow-up sheet on 300 people in a month? And do you know how many people then you end up losing in that first month? So if you're coming on slow, it's okay because you can spend the time with the, and by slow, I don't mean, you know what I mean by slow, not 300 a month. If you're seeing people that are doing 100, 200, 300 and it hurts you inside, don't let it. It's not a bad thing to go a little bit slower because you can pay attention and you can build a relationship and you can have a customer for life. I know that probably the first 100, I don't have customers for, a few of them I do, but not the percentage that I would have today. So there's that. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you for that, because Brenda, that has helped me service my customers and maintain my customers. And I appreciate that. And turn them into brand partners, quite frankly.
Yeah, and it has helped me not let people fall through the cracks, because as I'm following up and I set the next appointment to check in with them, I move them through days 1 through 31. And then when I open my notebook up on the morning of, like, tomorrow is the 15th. On the 15th, whoever's in that little slot, that's who I do my follow-up with. You can't lose people if you'll just be disciplined and committed to do using the system. It's worked.
And, that kind of brings me, I'm just going to say this, and it kind of goes back to setting yourself up to work as a business. But what you just said, Brenda, that's an important part of organization. But if you are spending your time hours creating flyers, hours getting the right color marker to write on the right page, hours to get the right pens, hours to do all of the fluff, that's not income producing activity. But what Brenda just did, that's income producing activity. So kind of keep that in mind. Yes, we should all be organized. Like I said, I don't know if I said it, I'm a very linear thinker. And I'm really type A. So being really organized is my jam. I'm not, but it's okay because I'm spending my time doing income producing activity and servicing my customers. So just, that's just kind of a little side note. So setting your goal and working it backwards. So these are the goals for your volume. How do you get to your volume? That's really the most important part of what we need on this slide. How do you get that volume? Well, it's income producing activity. It's reach outs, it's follow up, it's selling drops, it's converting, it's doing all of those things. So although this is a goal, what you need to do is set daily or weekly goals for the activity you need to, and that activity sheet is very helpful for that. So set daily or weekly goals for the amount of activity that you want to do per day. It might be one presentation a day. It might be 5 a day. It might be 10 a day. How many can you do in a day? How many conversations can you have about the business or the drops in a day? If you're doing this full time, you better be having a lot if you want to have full-time income. What's another activity? Reaching out. All those people who like your posts, all those people who give you a comment, all those people who follow your stories. Those are all things. How many of those are you going to do a day? So the activity is really where you need to set your hard goals. And this is between you and yourself. This isn't me setting goals and telling Brenda. Yes, we all have accountability partners, and that is important, but really, you're your own boss. This is all on you. If you're not reaching exactly where you want to reach, look inside. What are you not doing? And how can you improve it? And again, I'm not pointing at anybody out there. All my fingers are pointing at me. That laundry that I did earlier, it's really hot outside. So I, went and took the dogs in the basement. That was not income producing activity. So realize that your goals really, although they're numbers, need to be that activity. That's where your emphasis and the strongest part of your goals need to be. I'm going to stop sharing, Brenda.
Okay.
Because
one of the things that you were talking about, that sheet and my follow-up, it opens the door for me when I help a person get results. I get to ask them, oh, who's watching? Has anybody noticed? It's the who do you know question. And so what happens then? Now you start another one. And so don't forget the who do you know question. It's so fun when you get that person to introduce you to their friends. And now there's the 2x2 coming into play. And so don't forget that part of it too. It's just so fun.
So a couple thoughts as we start to wrap up. We still have about 10 minutes, but we talked about doing some back office training. We won't go intense into listen, let me stop for a second. If you really want to learn, if you really want to know, go to YouTube, go to Brent's channel, go to Todd's channel, go to James Zhang's channel. There's probably other channels. Who knows? Tim Sales probably has a channel. There's probably 3 more you can go to. And go through and watch the videos and learn. There are tons of resources for learning, okay? When we go over back office training, we're not going to go through every report and tell you what report you should be reading and what we're going to do is look at the overall. And on a weekly basis, you should be looking at X, Y, and Z because that is pertaining to your business this week. There's another app called Partner Co Share app. That is an app you need to look at all the time. There are assets, there are resources, there are brochures, there are business cards. Make sure that is share.partner.co. That is a website, share.partner.co. It is a website. The password is share. Everybody has the same password. And the assets and the number of resources in there are endless. You also need the Partner Co Share app. That is where there's some training on there and you get a little bit, make sure you've done that training or you did that training, or if you're new, that you do that training because you get lifestyle credits for. And why do we want lifestyle credits? Because we want to go to Maui and we want to go to Cancun and we want to go to Morocco. So anytime you can get a few extra points, go get those points. Even if it's just a couple thousand, it all adds up. So Partner Co Share app. What else is on there, Brenda? Oh, you know what's on there? Our comp plan is on there. Our calendar for when your color for your week is on there. All of the terms and conditions are in there. It's a very, very important app. And if you don't have it and you're not using it, We talk a lot about income producing activity, but you do need to build into that a little bit of training time. And you don't have to spend 8 hours a day training, but spend a little bit of time every day, whether it's watching a video, listening while you're on the treadmill, on the Share.partner or the Partner Co-Share app and watching one of their trainings. Spend a little bit of time every day. That's part of our growth. Brenda, you look like you want to say something about that.
Yeah, for the last few days, I have been wearing that tool out, y'all. I have sat for so many hours. I really have hours because I've got so many people asking me questions about what they're seeing on Facebook. And guess what? I don't have to know everything. I just have to go to my phone, find my little app, hit the tools on the far left-hand corner, and then pull up right now the hottest thing is collab. And so all the items that are in the collab are the ones that people are asking questions. That's where Vital One is. That's where Core Cleanse is. We have the Slenderize drops. So here's the coolest thing about that. I'm having a conversation and somebody says, hey, could you send me some information on that? And I say, I sure can. Hold on just a second. And you know what I do? I put it on speakerphone. I open up my phone. I punch that little button and I go over there and I find what I need. I go over there because I've already imported all of my contacts, and it's a share and then find the contact, push the button, AI makes a pretty little greeting for you, and then you push the little arrow button and text it to them or email it to them or whatever. Do y'all know how handy that is? Now here's the other cool part. I get a message immediately when they've opened it. And I know they're serious. So guess what that does? It brings me to what happens. Remember the activity? The call comes when, oh, I'm texting you tonight because I want to place that order. Okay, what is that? It's the tail end. It's tying up the loose ends of the IPA. It's the income producing activity. It's beautiful. Please understand how blessed we are to have a company with an IT department, marketing department like we have. Y'all, it is second to none. I am so proud of this company, and every brochure, every file that goes out is excellent. It's beautiful. And they've made it to where it's a win-win for all of us. And so it helps track, who we're talking to. And so you've got a record of all the people that are actually wanting information. And so use that tool. And then if you slide all the way over to the right, those three little dots open up your website and your back office. And all you have to do is put in your same login that you would going into your back office in your password. And there's your whole back office right there. You can look up anything. You can enroll a person. You can walk right. Our ID department has made it so handy. They know that we all walk around with our phone. And so the digital tools, they have really spent some time making those very, very handy for us. So if you don't use them, it's your own fault. And so just send it out. It helps me to not have to know everything. I send them a beautiful brochure, a PDF, or sometimes there's 15 pages in there. They can research till the cows come home. But right. I love what we have been given. And so utilize your tools. They're for you.
One last thing. Don't forget. So we're heading into PXP, right? We're going to be doing this every week. We're going to be talking about, we're just deep diving into different parts of of how we can achieve the things we want to achieve. What do we want to achieve? We want to add 2 brand partners, and we want to convert them and train them and do really, really great things with them and teach them to do the exact same thing. Well, guess what that is? It's epic. Here's what I want you all to do. Anytime our company has a promotion, find out the specifics of that promotion and run for it. Christy's like 17 diamond already. Brenda's a diamond, I'm a diamond. And why are we diamonds? Because the company said reach 8 new brand partners with activated account and you're a diamond. So that's your goal is 8. It's not 2, it's not 4. And I commend you if you have 2, 4, 6, 87 like Christy. I'm just teasing you,
Cheering
Christy.
you on. My goal, I spoke it this morning, is I want to see 100 diamonds
Yes.
celebrating with us at
Yes.
PXP. Minimum, minimum. It could be
Yes.
more than that.
And it's
I got to diamond in 10 days because I made a decision. I asked Father God to send me the people, and He did. I was
yes.
going to go on vacation to go see Miss Linda. And so I had to get it done because I didn't
Right.
want to lose any momentum. And y'all, it happened. And so everything that we're talking about are the things that we have to do in order to move our business. And so as we go farther, I cannot wait to deep dive into like our back office. Let's talk about three-way phone calls and what that might look like in detail with scripts and the how-tos. That's what we want to do because we've done it. We're not the smartest tool in the shed, but we did it, and we just want to share with you what we did to get where we are, and we want to go further. We're not stopping here, but we
That's
want
right.
you to come with us.
Brenda, give me 2 action items people can do to get new brand partners for Epic. Give me 2 action. Like, what can they do?
Make a list and pick up the phone.
Make a list and pick up the phone. And that phone probably weighs.
Only 50 pounds in your mind,
That's right. That's right.
but take yourself out of the equation and just see yourself delivering a message. And I love that. I mean, I take down that wall by saying, hey, you know what? This may or may not be for you, but oh my gosh, you have to know about it. I did that tonight. I sent a Moringa video and I sent our PDF from our partner co-share app to a person that could have been on what's called a chicken list. I don't have a chicken list anymore because I learned that everybody puts their pants on just like I do. And I believe that everybody eats, sleeps, and breathes needs what we have. That's my belief. And so I'm not afraid to call or tell anybody what I have. And I made Larry a list too because he's got some buddies that he needs to talk to. So I
There
helped
you
him
go.
out with
Get
that
some
list.
help. Have that communication. That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Okay, we're 2 minutes away, Kimberly. We're going to
Yes.
stop on the money
Yes,
here.
we are.
We just want to say thank you so much for taking time out. We want to help you. And for these next 6 weeks, I'm just going to say this. If you need help, please reach out. This is why we are doing this, because I hear from you. I don't have anybody to help me. I don't have a leader. My leader's not engaged. You know what? Kimberly and I are here. We each have a schedule. We can put you in a schedule and help you out of a hole or a pit or a dark spot. But I'm going to leave you with this. Do not doubt in the dark what God showed you in the light. You're all here for a reason. And it's time to use your voice. And it's time to start speaking. My ancient book that I read says to call those things that be not as though they are. What do you want? And so that means that we have to declare what God said until we see what God said. So with that, we're going to say good night. We love you. This is recorded. I'm going to post it on my YouTube channel and you will all get notifications. Kimberly, last words?
Thank you so much, Brenda. You're amazing.
We love you. Good night.